Hey guys, it's Josh here, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to master your consciousness to find the answers you're looking for. Now, if you clicked on this video and if you're watching this video, I'm going to presume that you are looking for some answers. Maybe you feel stuck, you feel like you just keep banging your head against the wall, you just can't find the answers. In this video, I'm going to give you a direct experience of finding the answers. So if you watch this video, I guarantee you, guaranteed, you will have an answer. You will find the answer that you are looking for within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Now, this morning I was reading a book. It's called the Upanishads, and it is a classic of Indian spirituality, right? And in this book, there is a concept called the Mandukya Upanishad, right? And they talk about this idea that consciousness is the true self, or they call it Brahman is the real self, right? And the self is Brahman. And so what that essentially means is that the self is consciousness, and consciousness is everything. Now, when you're looking for answers, you probably try to look outside. You try to look to find some answer external to yourself. However, you will never find the answers that way, right? That will only lead you into more and more suffering, into more and more frustration, into more and more anxiety. And, it's just really not the best way to do it anyway. You don't really want to do it like that anyway because it's not the best way, it's the slowest way. So I'm going to basically walk you through a better way to find the answers. Now, yesterday, I run a coaching call every Monday with my community, right, where I help people go from anxiety to alignment. And yesterday, I ran them through this exercise, and I want to share it with you because I think it's just so powerful. To start this video, I want you to just get your journal out and just write down one thing that you are stuck on. Like, just write down, like, what is the one thing that you are stuck on, that you feel that you're stuck on? Okay, so write that down now. We're actually going to do a short little activity before we get into this. First thing I want you to do is just write this down, right? What is the problem? Like, what are you stuck on? Okay, write it down. Now, what we're going to do right now is I'm going to give you a direct experience of how, when you master your consciousness, you will find the answers. Like I just said before, most people try to focus on, like, what do I need to do, right? What do I need to do next? Or, if you're familiar with this concept of like be, do, have, right? You could put be over here, and then over here would be, do, and then over here would be have. Okay? So most people try to find the answers here. It's like, I need to do something or I need to have something, right? And because you don't have it, you feel frustrated, you feel stuck, you feel like you just don't have whatever you want, and it doesn't matter what you do, you just can't get it. Okay? And that's because you're operating over here. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to invite you to close down your eyes for just a second. We're going to tune in to your consciousness. Okay, it's going to take a few seconds, a few moments. It's not going to take very long. But what I'm going to invite you to do is to close down your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask your inner consciousness what needs to happen. What needs to happen for you to get unstuck? What do you need to do? Ask your inner consciousness, your inner state of being. Ask that part of yourself what you need to do to overcome this struggle that you are facing, or this stuckness that you are facing. And I can guarantee you, you'll have an answer. And if you don't, let go of your mind, let go of your thoughts, let go of trying to fix it or control it. Allow yourself to find the answer through your own consciousness. This is going to be, it's going to come through like an intuition, like just a thought that's just there at the front of your consciousness. What is it? Right? What is it? When you do this, right, you get in touch with your consciousness. The answer's right there. Okay? And hopefully you've already found some value from this and you've already gone, boom, light bulb moment, right? And now I know the answer. I wanted to really encourage you to do this more often, to connect with your consciousness, because from there, your thoughts change. When your thoughts change, your emotions change. When your emotions change, your actions change. When your actions change, your results will change. Okay? Now, in this book, right, in the Eastern philosophy or in the Indian spirituality, they say that this over here, the actions, the results, right, the physical, right, is the gross body. Okay? Physical. And most people try to work with the gross body and the physical, okay? Then they say next, we have what's called the subtle body, okay? And this is what you could call, mental, right? Mental, emotional. So, this over here, the actions and the results, the having is all gross. It's the gross body. It's physical. It's the dense. It's really dense, right? This is dense. It's dense. It's heavy. It's matter, right? It's matter, right? And people try to change matter, but that's the hardest thing to change. It's really the hardest thing to change. Over here, on the subtle body, the mental and emotional, it's less dense. It's lighter, right? And it's also energy. Okay? Now, over here, consciousness. So this is better to work with, right? Like this is actually better to work with. It's better to work with your thoughts and emotions than it is your actions and your results. However, there's an even further place to go, right? And this is your consciousness, right? This is mastering your consciousness, because consciousness is causal, right? Spiritual, and it's oneness. So when you connect with this level, right, as you have just done, hopefully through this short little exercise, you realize that you already have all of the answers within you. You find a sense of oneness, and that sense of oneness gives you exactly what you need. When you get beyond the actions and the results and the physical and the gross body, you even get beyond your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings, trying to figure it out. Right? I put this under doing because when you think, you're doing something. Thinking is doing, right? When you stop thinking and you focus on being, that's when you connect with your consciousness, which is the causal body, right? Causal body meaning it's the cause of your existence. It is the cause of your existence. If you were not conscious of being, you would not even be. All of this wouldn't be here, okay? So you've got to really get back here. And the reason why I wanted to share this activity with you at the start of this is so that you actually get a direct experience of it. So, if you take a second like you just did to connect into your heart and just to connect into the present moment, and you ask yourself, what do I need to do now? Right? I've got this problem. What do I need to do? Right? You're connecting with being, and your consciousness will give you the answers. This is like God, really. Some people call it God. Okay? Right? And then this is where we start to create the self. Okay? So, when you connect with this causal body, the consciousness is the cause of everything else. Right? Now, if you like this stuff, and if you think this is interesting, and if you think this will help you with your personal suffering and your anxiety or your frustrations, then there's a video in the description of this one. There's a link to a free training where I will help you go from anxiety to alignment, or I'll show you how I can help you go from anxiety to alignment. So I'll put the description. I'll put that video in the description, and I'll also put it at the end of this video. If you want that free training on how I can help you go from anxiety to alignment using these kinds of concepts, then you can go and watch that. But let me just share with you something else, which is very important. This consciousness is the causal body, right? It's the spirit. Everything else comes out of here. And so this is only one reality, but this consciousness is capable of creating infinite potential realities, right? So this is just, let's just say that this is you, right? Okay, this is just one reality. Consciousness has created multiple different realities as possibilities. It can go in any direction, okay? And so if you're not happy with where you are right now, and you try to change all of this stuff, but it doesn't get you anywhere, and so then you try to change this stuff, and it doesn't get you anywhere, you've got to master your consciousness, because from this place, it's easy to just shift into different realities, okay? Into a different state. When you shift into a different state of consciousness, you master your consciousness, you can just shift into any kind of reality that you want for yourself. And it's really that simple. So stop focusing on the gross body. Even get beyond the subtle body and connect with the causal body, the cause. When you actually get to the cause, which is consciousness, and you start to operate from that place, everything changes. You find the answers and everything changes. And so if you are someone who is, feeling exhausted, feeling tired, feeling absolutely worn down, maybe you've watched one too many of these YouTube videos. Let me just share with you something that's really important. You've got to change. You've got to make a decision to change your consciousness. You've got to make a decision to do things differently. If you've just been doing things that, and you're just in this loop of waking up tired, right, dreading every week, feeling totally exhausted and fatigued, like you don't have any energy to do anything apart from sit here and scroll through YouTube videos. You're feeling totally stressed out. Your relationships are starting to suffer because of it. You can't be present to life. You're always preoccupied with work or business or whatever other shit you've got going on in your life. Maybe it's your own health. You've got to make a firm decision to do something different, right? You've got to make a firm decision to actually prioritize your consciousness, right? So if you're just waking up every day and you're just getting straight into work, or you're just getting straight onto your phone and you're just doing the same thing over and over again, that's, what do you think is going to happen? You're just going to continue to just do the same, to have the same experience, because you're just taking the same action, right? And that's going to lead to the same results. So if you want to master your consciousness and really find the answers that you're looking for and change your life, you've got to do different actions, right? And these actions have to be to prioritize your consciousness. You've got to really prioritize mastering your consciousness. And when you do that, right, this will then lead, I'm just making a mess of this right now, but this will then lead back to the results that you actually want. So it's a big loop. You've got to, if what you're doing right now isn't working, you've got to take different actions, right? Prioritize changing your consciousness. And when you change your consciousness, right, it leads to different results, okay? And if you want help with this, like I said, there's a free training in the description of this video, and I'll also put an end card so you can just go and watch that free training, and it will show you how I can help you go from anxiety to alignment, because sometimes trying to do it by yourself is just too hard. You don't have any clarity on what to focus on. And sometimes you don't remember, right? You don't remember. One of my coaches once told me, he said, it's not about what you know, it's about how many times you need to be reminded. And so this is so true for people who just binge watch YouTube videos, because it's not about what you know. If you watch these videos a lot, you probably have acquired a ton of information and knowledge. Maybe you know some things, right? But it's not about what you know. It's about how many times you need to be reminded until it becomes a habit. And so if you want some help with that, again, there's a free training below or at the end of this video where I'll show you how I can help you go from anxiety to alignment. So go watch that, and thanks for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I'll see you in the next one.